How to become a professional dog. What's better than getting paid to hang out with dogs all day? If you're interested in becoming a professional dog walker, you've chosen a growing industry to pursue. While it's fairly easy to get started in this business, doing it full-time requires commitment, motivation, and flexibility. Looking after other people's dogs may sound like a big responsibility, and it is, but it can be a rewarding job if you value fresh air and you enjoy caring for animals. Read on to learn more about what it takes to get started as a professional dog walker. Do you need any qualifications to be a dog walker? Not really, but it helps to know a fair bit about dog behavior. So long as you're 18 and you have a high school degree, you're qualified to get started as a dog walker. With that said, you'll likely find dog walking a lot easier if you have experience working with dogs. You'll also have a leg up on the competition if you're quick on your feet, motivated, and able to follow instructions to the letter. Having some familiarity with different dog breeds and their tendencies helps as well. If you don't know anything about dog breeds, hop online and read up on how the most popular breeds tend to behave. If you have no experience with dogs and you're worried about this, start with an app. A lot of the freelance dog walking apps, such as Rover and Wag, will have you complete a short training course before you can start working with clients. It helps to have good communication skills and punctuality. Dog walkers need to travel between appointments, so timeliness and punctuality are especially important. Dog owners don't want to worry about their pooch waiting around to use the bathroom or get out. You'll also need to update owners on how your dog walks go and articulate potential concerns or problems, so you'll have an advantage in this business if you're communicative and well-spoken. You may need to get a permit eventually, depending on where you live. Many major cities require dog walkers to have permits if they work a certain number of hours, or work as a dog walker for a specific number of years. You probably don't need to worry about this if you're just starting out, but it's worth contacting your local government to see if anything like this applies to you. There are certifications you can get for dog walking, notably from Pet Sitters International and National Association of Pet Sitters, but unless you're a full-time dog walker looking to run your own business, it probably isn't worth your time yet. How much does a professional dog walker make? You'll probably make around $10 minus 20 an hour if you use an app. It's going to be hard to find clients if you don't have a ton of experience, so you'll probably want to start out using a freelance app, like Rover or Wag. You're likely going to earn $10 minus 20 an hour most of the time, but if you work during peak hours in a city with a lot of dog owners, like San Francisco or Chicago, you can earn much more. These apps function basically the same way as Uber. You sign up, create a profile, and then you're paired up with dogs near you who need a walk that day. You can make $25 minus 35 an hour if you strike out on your own. Starting a self-owned dog walking business will be more lucrative if you can maintain a steady client list. You'll need to file for a business license and get insurance if you go this route, but it's certainly worth the time and effort if you plan on doing this full-time. If you're just trying to walk dogs as a part-time gig to make some extra money, it probably won't be worth the time to create your own dog walking business just yet. Which dog walking service pays the most? It depends where you live, but it's probably Rover. Rover is only available in the United States and Canada, but it's basically the king of dog walking apps. If you're motivated and you live in a high-demand area, you can earn more than $25 an hour using Rover. They even offer insurance and benefits if you stick with them. You get to set your own rates, so competition can be tight, but more people use Rover than the other apps out there. There are a few other options, though. Wag pays out roughly $15 minus 17 on average. You don't get to set your own price, but a lot of walkers like Wag over Rover because it's a little more laid back and you're able to advertise grooming and pet sitting services as well. Pet Backer is another option. The pay varies dramatically based on the services you provide, and you can make some extra cash by offering grooming or pet sitting services. On average, you can expect to earn $13 minus 16 an hour. Barkley Pets lets you totally set your own rates and hours, but you do need to pay a membership fee if you make over $100 a month through their app. Care is another choice, and you'll probably earn around $11 an hour with them. You can basically work as much or as little as you want on this app with no up or down sides. It's a good option if you're only doing this part-time. How do I become a dog walker with no experience? If you have no experience, start out by joining an app. Rover and Wag, for example, will start you off with some basic training on what it takes to walk dogs safely. This should give you the introductory information you need to start out. The other thing you can do is use an app that allows you to set your own price, like Wag or Barkley Pets, and keep your price lower than the competition to get some experience. Once you've developed a sense for how dogs react to certain situations, express themselves, and respond to you, you'll feel a lot more comfortable. Don't worry about your lack of experience. You can offer your services to friends and family to start. If you're brand new to dog walking, ask your friends and family members if they'd be willing to give you a shot. This is a great way to learn how to put a harness and leash on a dog, take them on a walk, and clean up after them. Once you've got some experience, you can download one of the dog walking apps and get started. Is there demand for dog walkers? It's a growing industry, and the demand is extremely high in cities. People are spending more and more money on their pets these days, and 3/4 of households in the United States have a pet. As a result, there are a lot of dogs out there that need to be walked, and there's a growing need for dog walkers, especially in dense areas where dogs don't have access to a yard. The more rural the area, the lower the demand for dog walkers will be. It's also going to be harder to make a lot of money as a dog walker if you're in a suburb or rural area. If you're in a city, you can walk or bike from pet to pet and fit in more appointments in a shorter period of time. You can't do that easily outside of a city. Can I start a dog walking business? 1. Yes. If you want to do it full-time, this is a great idea. You can make a lot more money operating your own dog walking business, even if you're the only dog walker at your business. However, it helps to build your resume up and get some experience working with dogs first. This means you're probably better off starting as a dog walker through an app. 2. You do need to get insurance and file your business officially. Look up your local laws to see what the requirements are for starting a dog walking business. You'll need to file a business license with your city or state, and purchase liability insurance. You'll also need to create a website, develop a brand, and market your services to the public with flyers and advertisements. It can take a bit of time to get things started, but the rewards are going to worth it. At first, you'll probably start out as an owner-operator. If the demand is there and your brand gets some momentum, you can start expanding by hiring employees so that you can focus on growth and development. Some cities and states require specific permits for operating a dog walking business. It's really important to look up the requirements where you live, since they vary from region to region. If you're successful, committed, and you live in an area with high demand, you may be able to make over $100,000 a year running your own dog walking business. How many dogs can a dog walker walk at one time? You'll normally walk one at a time, but at most it should be around 4. The stereotype of the dog walker heading down the busy street with 14 dogs in tow isn't really reflective of reality. If you're using an app, you're almost always going to walk one dog at a time. If the client has more than one dog, you may take them out together. If you're working on your own, try not to take more than 4 dogs out at once. It can be stressful for the dogs to be around a bunch of pups they don't know. It can also be dangerous to walk too many dogs. They may bite one another, or you may accidentally drop a leash if you're carrying too many of them. As a dog walker, your primary goal is to keep the dog safe, so don't plan on trying to take more than 4 dogs out at a time. If you have a choice, always opt to walk 1 dog at a time, 2 at most. It may not sound like much, but 4 dogs is going to be a handful, especially if you're new to dog walking. What does every dog walker need? A spare leash, backup phone battery, and plenty of poop bags. Put a dog walking bag together with the supplies you know you'll always need. You're always going to need sanitary wipes, a spare leash, gloves, and dog treats, if the owners are cool with them. Keep a stack of biodegradable poop bags with you at all times, and pack an extra towel in case a dog decides to walk in something messy. A collapsible umbrella that will fit in your bag is going to be a good investment. Dogs still need to get walked on rainy days, and you're more likely to get last-minute bookings on days with poor weather when owners get held up at work. What problems might a dog walker encounter? Difficult dogs, leash tugging, and strangers are common issues. Some dogs have been traumatized and will react strangely to seemingly everyday situations, so talk to the owners before walking their pup to learn anything you might need to know. Leash tugging and leash aggression may be common issues as well. You also never know how a dog is going to react to strangers trying to pet them, so you may have some unpleasant conversations when someone asks to pet the dog and you have to say, no. Some dogs are totally fine with strangers, and the owners won't care if you let folks pet their dog. Still, you may encounter people telling you to keep the dog off of their lawn, or lash out if they don't see you picking poop up fast enough. When it comes to leash tugging and aggression, there's always a learning period. Try to figure out what works for each dog as an individual. The goal is always to use positive reinforcement to get the pup to relax while they're leashed so that the two of you can walk together with some slack in the leash.